Welcome back to Nano Education. In this video, I'll be talking your pathway towards a full stack developer. This is a video of developer tips. So what is a full stack developer? So a full stack developer is a developer that can handle all kinds of tasks that are thrown at them. So you could be creating a simple HTML website, or you could be managing a large database. A quick note would be, if you're a full stack developer and let's say you're working as a full stack developer, you might one day be working on maybe like debugging a mobile app, and the other day you might be debugging a server, or you might be looking at a database and trying to figure out a new field or something. So you might be thrown anything that is related to a full stack developer. Right. So a full stack developer is also basically the way I think about it is that it knows everything. Like, I mean, not everything. Like, you know all the programming language, the majority of them. So it's not like you don't have to, it doesn't matter. Let's just say you don't know Go. Well, you're totally fine. Let's just say you didn't know Dart, because you're not going to use Flutter probably. So you don't need to know that. Let's just say you didn't use Swift just because you didn't have a Mac or something. Well, that wouldn't count either, because basically the point is that you know the majority of it, alright? Knowing Swift will definitely up your resume, but it doesn't, but it wouldn't degrade you as much. Maybe a company might be comfortable with like a Xamarin app or using Flutter probably. So it depends on what you consider a full stack developer. And many times a full stack developer, they're on a job site, they're usually the only one. Just because of the fact that a company, basically you're a full stack developer is an engineer. So why do you want 2 to 3 engineers that literally do everything the same thing? So for that reason, companies will usually hire only one. So, and then many people actually are still working towards that full stack developer goal. So, knowing the right strategies to help you out and like not worrying as much, less stress, everything will help you become a better full stack developer. And the full stack developer is just not about the languages. What good is a full stack developer if they take too much stress, or if they spend a lot of time on something? Get it? Like, let's just say you're given a simple HTML website. Well, that takes you, let's just say, an hour, but you can create a website in like Django or something in like less than that. Well, that shows that you really take that HTML website as a too easy job. Alright, get it? Like, you should have the skills. Like, you want skills and you don't want knowledge. I mean, you do want knowledge as much, but a skill is better than knowledge. Alright? Because you can have a skill for knowing how to write great JavaScript, but your knowledge of JavaScript might not matter as much as your skill of it. Like, let's just say you are very good at using a linter, but without, like, you know, installing the linter, you can like go according to a linter. That's like a very nice skill. Alright, so where should I begin? So if you're a beginner just starting out, my always first suggestion to anyone who asks will be HTML. Alright? And then so basically I'm talking about the front end technologies. So it would be very helpful to know the front. Wait, what did I spell? Alright. So front end technologies. Alright? So you want to you want to know all the front end technology. So what those include would be obviously HTML, CSS, and then JavaScript. Alright? So basically knowing JavaScript will actually do a lot, will make you, I mean, like, JavaScript is a front end language, it's like a programming language for the front end. HTML is actually just a markup. Like, if you didn't know, it's just a markup language. It's not a programming language. Alright? CSS is almost the same thing. It's just a styling language. It's not a programming language. So styling. So here you're only left with JavaScript, which is a programming language. Alright? So what do you need to know? So like JavaScript and then CSS, they both branch out to stuff. Alright, so let's look at their branches out. So if you have, let's just say CSS, well, it's not only knowing CSS is not going to make you a better developer. So one thing you might want to know will be Sass. CSS or SASS. So knowing SAS would be a very good thing. Knowing less would be a good thing. Also knowing, so now this is a skill I'm about to talk about. So a skill would be to know how to, like, let's just say you know CSS animations really well. CSS animations. So that is something you might be very good at. And you can also be, another good skill would be you can write efficient CSS. Efficient CSS. Alright? So part of SAS also would be that you're basically, how do I say this? Like, basically, if between SAS, you gotta know, let's just say a skill might be like, you know how to create great functions. So great, hold it. So great functions, like you might know how to write very well functions. Or you might know a part of everything will be creating good variables. I mean, that'll be a good thing. So great variables. So one strategy I'm actually displaying here, right here that I'm showing you, is called a map. Or branch it out, some people like to call it. I like to call it a map. Branch it out. So even if you're a professional developer, just branching out a project, like knowing what tasks you have to do, everything will actually make you a better developer. Because if you know the thing, like if you can display your thinking process on paper, like if someone were to give you a sheet of paper and they're like, write, alright? Well, you should be able to write like literally everything that you know of. Like, I mean, not like everything you know of, like care. Like you can like draw something, branch your ideas out, knowing and all. And then that's like one of the processes of becoming a better developer, because this is the planning part. Like you gotta know how to do planning well. That's one thing I will be explaining in this video also. So how would my map look like? So basically your map would, alright, so before I do so, let me quickly display to you guys about JavaScript. So JavaScript. So one thing I would definitely tell you to know will be a framework, alright? But put JavaScript at number 1. Meaning that you learn JavaScript first. Vanilla JavaScript. I'm not talking about React or something. Then you can branch out and then be like, well, I want to start with React. So you start off with React, alright? Then you're like, well, I want to then go on to Redux. So you might be like, well, I want to go on to Redux, which is a state management for React. Alright, and then from Redux you might be, well, I might want to, I don't know, start creating my own APIs, which will branch into Express.js or a backend language. Alright, so then you start getting into the backend. So that will be like a quick React view. Like then, so React View. So Vue is also something you might want to be interested in knowing, which is it's a growing JavaScript framework. And I really like Vue, but I actually like React a little better. So Vue is basically a great one for a beginner. I will actually put Vue at my number 2 for a JavaScript framework. Because it's so similar to basically like, what's it like, your HTML, like, you know, you don't have to know, because in React, like if you're a developer already, you might actually know that you cannot use the word class. Instead, you have to use the word class name, alright? So this is something that will be thrown off by beginners, so that's a good thing. And then you have Angular, which, to be true, I still don't understand actually. So Angular I actually find to be not, like, you might want to know, it's a very good thing to know. Maybe a company will hire just because of Angular, but many websites, even like Yahoo Mail, and then like many other like Netflix, they run on React. Alright, so React will also be it. So let me draw a better star. Let's do that. So React would be my top choice also. So would be Vue. But Angular, on the other hand, wouldn't be so much because this is mainly based on TS, which is TypeScript, JavaScript, TypeScript, and really so it's actually based on TypeScript, and Angular is more of an enterprise, like a enterprise-based language. Like Google uses it, but it's more for like higher advanced developers. So once you climb the path, you can get up the mountain, then you can go on Angular. All right. So how would your map look like? Well, it will start off with front end, like I've been focusing on. So front end. Then you'll be moving on to so then I would say moving on to mobile development. So mobile app development will be a good thing to move on to after this. I can't write. So mobile app development would be one thing you might want to look at. Then I would say moving on to, let's just say, a backend. So backend technologies. So one thing I would definitely suggest to you in backend, and mostly anything. So basically part of a front-end framework, front-end, you can actually use like Flask, but let me remind you, it's an intercounter with backend because Python is a backend language. So basically, a backend language is any language that you need a server to run on. Alright, so anything that you will need a server, you cannot just. So basically, anything you cannot deploy to NETLIFY, alright, is a backend. So if you don't know what NETLIFY is, I will highly suggest you to check it out. They're a very good resource for basically hosting websites. I have plenty of websites even hosted on there. It's a very good thing to check out. So NETLIFY. So if you want Netflix, NETLIFY, I think you can spell it. Alright, so NETLIFY is basically anything you cannot upload. So anything that cannot go to NETLIFY is probably going to be a backend. Alright. So you have that, and then mobile app development. You might actually want to do some basically one thing that will be very good is knowing Java, because that's what Android development is based on, and Swift, it will be iOS, Apple. Alright. So Java is going to be, so if you learn Java just for the development reasons, you just accomplish a backend language. You learn Swift, same thing. But Swift, I would actually basically cannot host a mobile app on NETLIFY, which Ionic you can. So that's where Angular will fall in. Basically, a front end in the front end department. Angular. If you learn Angular, you can actually accomplish Ionic. So let me just drag that down. So you can actually accomplish Ionic. So I know this is getting very crazy map, but this is, once again, this is a map. Wait. Is that a map? So this is basically a map. So obviously it's going to be a little messy. But basically, you can clearly see from here what you can accomplish just by knowing stuff. If you didn't even know, like JavaScript, I do have a series on Electron.js, which is creating desktop apps. So Electron.js, you have React Native, which you can create mobile apps with. I ran out of room. So let's just do RN. So you can actually learn that from JavaScript. So basically, this is how your map will be sort of looking at. So basically, let's just say you learn JavaScript, then you learn React, right? Well, once you learn React, alright, you might be like, well, I might want to do some mobile development. So you can actually literally just go to mobile development and start with React Native. So once you know the frameworks and all, and then Ionic is also a good thing to look at if you know Angular, right? So there's a lot of open possibilities. You're not stuck. So one important tip I have for you guys, it will be for those who want to learn React, would be learn JavaScript first. So learn vanilla JS first. And let me tell you why. So there's plenty of developers out there that actually have learned React first, then totally have forgotten about JS. You might ask them about JavaScript, but they won't know much. right? Because they'll be thinking everything through the React. So if you're already a vanilla JavaScript developer, you might, and then also React developer, you might actually know about the map function, which are most common. I don't even those type of people, when they get into vanilla JavaScript, they have no idea that the map function exists in JavaScript, which is basically a way to loop through an array. So knowing so basically the key point I want you to get out of here is that there's open opportunities. It's just that you have to be an open mind, because clearly this map is an open mind. This is what you're going to accomplish when you have an open mind, knowing, like, there's no border to stopping. Like, literally, to become a friend and develop, like, even become let's just say if a full-stack developer was considered a developer that knew every language out there, well, the first thing I will tell you is that, for one fact, Go will be a hard one to accomplish. Alright? Like, I wouldn't expect anyone to know full C either, or C#. Or who would want to learn Objective-C today? If you get what I mean. Objective-C. Like, if... And then another one that I wouldn't expect people knowing would be assembly. So let me go and talk about that quickly. So another thing that some people are interested in is going to be operating system development. So operating system development. You might actually not have thought about it ever, but it's a good thing to look at. So what do you need to know for this? Well, first of all, you need literally C. You have to know every fundamental C. So like data structures. So data structures will be one. You might want to know memory and everything. Basically a full computer science course. Then you want to learn, so part of this you want to learn assembly. You want to know algorithms. Alright? So basically you can actually research this on your own. And if you're really interested in operating system development, I'll actually leave a link in the description below to a GitHub repository. So GitHub is one thing you want to know. Git is something you have to know if you want to become a full-stack developer. Where on GitHub there'll be a link to a repository where you actually create your own operating system. It's actually not that bad. It won't be a very nice operating system, but it'll just be the start. But basically, you'll actually start realizing that you might want to know more of this stuff, like what I've been talking about. So data structures and memory, algorithms, and everything. So basically, you might be like, why do I need an algorithm? Well, because let's just say you open an app on your desktop. That is an algorithm. So it just knows to open it and go find a file for that. Alright? Because let's just say it was shortcut, obviously, if it's on your desktop. So that's what you want to know in algorithm. Is being able to create code that you can put in anything and it will run. Like to that specific issue or to that specific step. So I hope this video was very helpful. And if you enjoyed it, please make sure to share it out. Whatever. You know the drills. And then, if you have any questions, please leave a comment in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.